Good morning, everyone. Happy to slay. Happy New Year. It is 2026, y'all, the first week. And let me tell you, I am so ready to have this conversation with you this morning. So, welcome to Slay Nation. If you've never been here before, I'm Rochelle, affectionately called Slay or Slay Queen. I am the CEO and founder of Slay to Success. So, in Slay Nation, these are individuals who are change makers. They are making decisions to do things that are very bold and audacious, and they're looking to get after their dreams. And we're using the word slay as the foundation. And slay means to kill it, to dominate it, and to nail it, to be on point, to impress greatly, and to dream big and work hard until you own it. It is also an acronym that stands for Universal Life and Leadership philosophies that really resonate with me, and hopefully they resonate with you too. And that is stay ready to be ready, lead out loud, a sense of community, and knowing you are built to last. So if you are here with me this morning, go ahead and put it into the comments here. Let me know where you're streaming in from. All right, this is my talk show, okay, where I talk a lot about slay and what it means and how do we get there. All right. So I am a keynote speaker, personal brand strategist, image consultant, leadership, guru, if you will, all wrapped up into one. But most importantly, I am a proud United States Air Force veteran where I served and led for 30 years. And now, in my new adventure, my entrepreneurship, if you will, I am here to not only inspire you, but to help you in your transformation. I am currently equipping tools for military and government leaders who are transitioning, who are looking to build their own empire, their own movement, go into entrepreneurship, social advocacy, and perhaps, doing something that they are just so scared of. But I'm here to tell you, I was at that place as well. And when I transitioned, I had to really find my feet and put them up underneath me and tell myself, you know what, Rochelle? You know what you're supposed to be doing out here. Okay. Hey, Queen, how you doing? Talithia, she is joining from VA, from Virginia. That's where we're at, y'all, in the DMV. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. And most importantly, I appreciate you being here live with us this morning, Queen. Okay. But we're about to have a Slay Mason conversation. And I want to be able to give everyone some sort of foundation to start at for the year 2026. Because that's, people are making these, goals and they're putting down their, wish list, if you will. And I'm a believer that we already got what we need. We just need somebody to be in the ear and telling you it's okay to be different. It's okay to walk boldly into rooms and making people nervous. It's okay to have ideas that are out of the box that no one else is going to get right away. And that was me. I have had slay for the past, 6, 7 years now. And people were looking at me with 10 heads when I started out. And now there is a movement happening. So as you are in this community, you have to be able to really believe in yourself, trust that you got everything that you need. You have the ability to make a difference, a huge impact after doing one career. I was in the military for a very long time. I knew all the moves. I knew how to navigate a system that was not designed for me to succeed. And I did that honorably. Stood on stage, a retirement stage, and said, you know what? That was awesome. But you guess what? That was just part of my story. It wasn't the whole story. And afterwards, I started to write books. I started to speak. I started to create programs and presentations. And now, like, I ripped the Band-Aid off. And so 2026, you're going to see a new slay queen, okay? Hey, Queen. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. What's going on? So in this world as well, we look at our mindset, okay? Because mindset really matters. We all are about holistic wellness. All right. We're all about leadership identity and understanding that all these things can be put together where you can show up whole. All right. We're not broken. All right. We don't need to be fixed. I don't believe in any of that language. We already are leaders in our own right. What more can we get out of this life that we have? I understand I have more days behind me than I do in front of me, and I'm going to squeeze everything that I can out of this one life. And the way that I'm doing it is doing a number of different ways. I have a system, there's a blueprint, there is a whole thing behind Slay to Success, and now you're part of Slay Nation. So let's just get this conversation started. All right. So I talk a lot about personal branding and executive presence. Yes, I like to dress up, and yes, you will see me out here really boldly wearing pink. All right. That is just a small part of what I am talking about when I talk about executive presence. It's how you walk in, it's how you talk, it's how you communicate what you do and how you do it, that you don't go into over explaining anything. I don't believe in just running on and on and on and on. I used to do that when I first started because I was like trying to convince folks of what I'm doing. And I'm like, you know what? You're not talking to everybody. You have to understand what you do and how you're doing it. There are people that are assigned to you. So please, I was disappointed. I was frustrated. I was confused of why people weren't just getting what I was putting out there. And then I realized, especially, 2 years into this entrepreneurial world that I'm in, that what I offer is not for everybody. And I don't want everybody to be in Slay Nation. Okay. Because when you get folks that don't understand what Slay Nation is about, they be coming in here and poo-poo on all the things that you're doing. All right. You can keep scrolling. You can keep, moving forward wherever you're going. I am not on a lot of platforms. I'm on LinkedIn mostly. All right. I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on TikTok. I'm not, Facebook is for my family and friends, but you will see me here on LinkedIn because I have been able to somewhat crack a code, if you will, on attracting the right people that need to enter into Slay Nation. So when I started to think about what I wanted to do, which I had no plan, y'all, absolutely no plan when I retired from the military. And I decided, you know what, I'm just going to kind of see where I land. I started writing, I wrote my first book, and I said, okay, well, maybe this is a beginning of something. Then I got called to go in and to speak at different military bases. My first military base that I spoke at was Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico. It was the first time I had ever been there and never been stationed there throughout my career. I never saw white sands. It was the first time that I saw white sands. It was such an incredible experience. I look back at those pictures and the video where someone took, clips of me speaking, and I have seen the transformation for myself on how I have been able to share my message, to get on stages, to get in rooms where decision makers are outside of a uniform. And so, if anyone is looking to do any of consulting, speaking, coaching, writing a book, I have a lot of things to share when it comes to that. I've had a lot of heartaches, all right, but there were lessons learned. But I don't want you to think that you're alone in the journey. So if you're going from a structured environment, such as the military, the government, or it could be another place that there was a lot of structure in, it's not easy. And I don't want anybody to tell you that it is, because it's not. All right. Okay. I'm going to make sure that no one here is on Facebook. This is something that I'm going to try to troubleshoot here over the next few weeks. All right. So, anyways, if you're in the middle of a career change, or if you're really thinking about starting your own business or your nonprofit or doing social advocacy work, maybe go into the political landscape, I want you to know that you're going to face some struggles that faced too, which were mistakes, okay, misunderstanding, the perception of what I was trying to offer wasn't really resonating with people. But I found some strategies that completely changed the game for me. So I'm going to share with you my top 3 game-changing moves and that you can do, because I'm a girl from Kokomo, Indiana, who did not believe in herself until she went into the military. And it even took some time when she was in the military to really discover the personal power that she had. And so I started to use that to my advantage and quickly to see that I was different. I was setting myself apart from everyone else on so many things. I had different ideas, different perspectives, right? And I started to get boxed in because people were like, no, 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 we do not want you to come in here and talk about any of that. We want you to talk about this specifically. So now that I have a true understanding and some of the things that I did, I want to share them with you today. So hopefully you'll get something out of this. I'm not going to be too long. All right. Because Slay Queen got a lot going on. 2026 is picking up. All right. So first move, we got to own our authority. All right. Own our authority. For years, I was trained, and like many of you, training to follow, to execute, to be a part of a system. That was my career. I'm part of a system. I know exactly what to do. I crossed all the I's, or excuse me, dotted all the I's, crossed all the T's. And for whatever reason, I just thought that that was just the way, you know, it became exhausting at times, because I was like, I keep doing this over and over again. And then somewhere along the way, somebody would change the goal and they would be like, no, now you got to do this. And so I just realized that that mindset worked in that environment. All right. And what I had to do was learn how to own my leadership. Okay. So owning our authority, owning our leadership. Now, I've got my master's degree in strategic leadership. I wanted to find out more about the formal aspects, the frameworks, the methodologies, the theories, if you will, of leadership. I have a bachelor's degree, I have associate's and a bachelor's degree in health sciences. I knew when I retired from the military, I did not want to go into the medical community. That was my background when I was in the military for a very long time until I got into the more higher senior management leadership roles. So I wanted to learn more about leadership because the military taught me how to lead from their lens, and that was okay. I mean, I learned a whole lot from that. But in the transition, I wanted to learn more about what others thought of leadership. So we have to own our authority. Yes, we have to. All right. We know what we're good at. We know what we can continue to talk about over and over again. All right. And be on point with it. Okay. And then Talithia said, you're on spot on. We are trained to perform. We are. Right. So when you're in entrepreneurship, or if you're creating a movement or building an empire, we're not training to perform. We're training to impact, to transform, all right, others who aren't able to see themselves in the ways that we do. So I struggled with self-doubt. When I first started, I thought at first, who am I to lead in this space? Okay. I just took the uniform off, and now I'm over here talking like I've been here before. I hadn't been in there before, and I was kind of confused. I was like, you know what? I had authority, and I had a certain persona, if you will, in the military. How can I convert that into the civilian sector and make more of an impact? All right. So I've had to really think about what was in my head. All right. All the gremlins. The one way that I, stomp out gremlins and I don't let them get into my headspace and hold all of it hostage in here is I work out, and I work out hard, and I don't apologize at all for it. Yes, I am 53 years old and I'm still doing burpees like I was in my 20s. And you know what? I'm super proud of myself because I did not stop. And not only it helps with the physical aspect, but my mental, I'm telling you, there is nothing swaying me for where I'm going. So in Slay Nation, we move our bodies. All right. We don't make any excuse, or we don't back down and say, well, I do work out. No, I work out every day, every single day. All right. It's necessary for what I am doing in this next. Hey, Valerie, I see you on the Facebook side. Hey, Queen. Welcome to Slay Nation, the Rise and Slay morning show. Yeah, y'all, I got another show on Sunday. And so it's like I go back and forth, but it's my way to own my authority in the space and creating my own talk shows because I ain't got the monies like that to be in somebody's studio. I just said, I'm going to do this and I'm going to create my own on my own. So the moment, okay, that we stop doubting ourselves and asking questions, who am I to lead in this space, or who am I to advise others? All right. I want you to stop what you're thinking in that, because you already know what you're good at and what people ask you for. And I want you to stop waiting for permission and start claiming your expertise, right? Your experiences, your perspectives, your voice. That's when Slay Nation started to take shape. Now, I wasn't calling this Slay Nation for a minute. All right. Slay Nation kind of like it's been humming. All right. I had a Facebook community for a while. Then I said, okay, let me get on LinkedIn. All right. I do a lot of networking outside. So I'll be in these streets. And I realize there's a certain vibe that I'm creating. All right. And the people that I'm surrounding myself with are people who are go-getters. All right. They know what they want. They're putting themselves out there. They're not afraid. All right. Maybe they're afraid that we can't see, but when they're out, they're not afraid. And so I want to be part of that. And I wanted to create a hub. And here is the hub. And the hub is getting bigger and bigger as we continue to grow together. So for us, this means that we really need to be publicly sharing our insights. All right. We need to be stepping into leadership into our own niche, whatever that is, whatever it is that you understand and know to a T. Okay. Or this simply can mean making a decision without waiting for approval. Okay. I didn't wait for somebody to tell me that I should be writing books. In fact, I wrote my last book. And I didn't tell nobody. I just went and self-published it and then told everybody afterwards. All right. I didn't tell people that I was going to start these talk shows. I did my own research and I said, you know what? Instead of podcasts, they're going to be called talk shows because that's where I want to become. I didn't ask anybody for permission to start wearing certain color. All right. I just started wearing pink and said, you know what? It is what it's going to be. I didn't get anybody to sign off, or I didn't be like, you know what do you think about this? Oh, you don't like that? Oh, I'm not going to do that. Okay. I was not going to get into that. And in fact, we have to be focused on our total self, mental, physical, and spiritual. Talithia, me and you are in the same. That's why you in Slay Nation right now. Okay. So, and adding on aspects also on social, all right? environmental, because your environment dictates what goes on around you. If you're in an environment where people aren't really sharing and elevating themselves, or they're in an innovation, their growth, their mindset is not in a growth way. I listen. The environment affects you in so many different ways. Occupational, where are you working at? All right, I don't work anymore. I'm not in the military. All right, in the military, they just give you people. All right, you don't get to pick people like that until you get into higher leadership roles, and then you can pick your exec, or pick people, have a part of picking people to be on the team. But when I started out and I was supervising, they just gave me people and said, you just need to work with these folks. And a lot of people caused me stress. All right, a lot of people weren't in there for the right reasons. A lot of people were trying to sabotage and undermine me. All right, and I had to learn how to navigate through all that. But your occupation really matters. Also, financial wellness. All right, financial wellness is a part of how we show up. If you don't look, right, because your finances all off, right? Look, I started from seed money. All right, and that's how I continue to do my business, seed money. All right, I don't borrow. I'm not, taking loans out. I'm not doing any of that, because I truly believe what I do and how I do it is going to sustain me. All right. And it has. I've been in business officially, officially for 3 years now. All right. And I don't have a job. I don't have a second job. I used to have a job when I first retired, and it was, it wasn't really a job. It was consulting work, and did that for 2 years. And then I decided to go full time as an entrepreneur and focus on Slay to Success. Okay. But financial wellness, if you don't have the finances to do what you are to do, like the living and even doing, entrepreneur work, you're going to find yourself really stressed out. All right. And, all these wellness aspects, they really matter at the end of the day. All right. And lastly, intellectual. What are you feeding your mind? What are you reading? What are you consuming? All right. All this media that's out here isn't good, especially if you're trying to focus on your personal development. So we have to be able to really integrate all the wellness aspects. If we're not, we're going to be off. So thank you, Talithia, for bringing that up. I get it on my little soapbox about it for sure. All right. So authority is less about titles, position, grades, all those different elements of how systems are designed. It's about showing up. Okay. We got to show up, and we got to be leading with confidence. We all have confidence. I don't sell confidence. Okay. I don't market confidence. We all have a certain level of confidence. But what I do know is some people hold back. All right. Some people think it's too much. All right. They're like, oh, they're not going to like me. Oh, they're going to be talking about me. They're going to be like, oh, what is she doing? She's not in line. She's not, or he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing in here. Right. So we have to get out of that mindset of titles, positions, grades. It's about showing up, literally showing up, right? How are you showing up every day in the spaces that you're occupying right now? So that's the first one. That's the first move, is to own your authority. The second one is you got to build your tribe strategically. I'm not saying just building a tribe. All right. Strategically. What does that mean? Okay. It is connecting to the right people who are in alignment with what you're doing, and they are powerhouses, decision makers, leaders in their own particular lane. And you're wanting to quickly build a network of people who will speak on your behalf. All right. Who clearly know what you do and how you do it, so that way you can start to elevate yourself and your brand to wherever you're trying to go. So I quickly realized I could not do this alone. So, one of the first strategic moves that I did to build my tribe is to create the Slay to Success talk show. This is where I bring in a guest. Okay. Now, it's one of the many ways that I've been able to build strategically, but the guests on my show are in alignment with what I'm talking about. All right. And I'm connected to their network, they're connected to my network, and it starts to grow and expand. So I had to surround myself with the people who get it, people who could challenge me, people who could support me, and people who can open doors of opportunity. 2025, y'all, as I put into the comments of this show, was fire. Listen, the last event that I did before 2025 closed out was presenting at the White House. A lot of people are asking me how you get into the White House and present on personal branding. Well, it's people in my network. All right. I have a network of people who believe in what I do, they understand. And so they talk to the decision makers. The decision makers brought me in. All right. And I'm going back to the White House on Friday, y'all. Okay. So anything is possible. When you're in military or government spaces, there is a cap. Okay. They put you at a cap. There was no E10 for me. I was E9. There's no E10. All right. There was nothing else more that I hadn't done that I needed to do. All right. So I'm like, well, what is out here that I could put myself in position for? All right. So just believe. I'm not trying to brag or boast or, let you know that I'm bigger, better than anyone else. It's just the mere fact of when you have the right people in your world, things start opening up, and things that you never even knew existed will be able to come your way. So I struggled with connecting with the wrong people. I was wasting my time on relationships that didn't move me forward. All right. And I still have to weed out things now as I'm going, because I'm like, no, the energy isn't right. I got a certain level of energy. I operate in high vibrational energy. Okay. And it shows up from the internal to the external. So I have to focus on building a community that has a shared vision. That's when opportunities really start to multiply. All right. And that's how we're here. Okay. This is how this has been born. And it's a network of leaders, network of collaborators, and go getters who want to lift each other up. Period, point blank. No one in here is putting anyone else down. I have had people in my DMs, all right, who tell me I shouldn't be doing this and I shouldn't be doing that, bringing this military energy to what I'm doing right now in my civilian life. Y'all, you know me. I'm that type of woman. I'm a little petty when it comes to that some stuff. All right. But at the same time, I'm like, they don't know no better. Okay. They don't know who they messing with. And I just, kindly and graciously let them know where we at. Okay. And what we got going on. Woo! I was just like, why you up in here telling me what to do? Using words like you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't be doing that. Come on now. All right. Then you're not part of Slay Nation. All right. Because we're here to lift each other up. All right. And give each other an opportunity to see themselves in their shine. Thank you, Talithia. It's not bragging. You're communicating the art of the possible. It's possible to be anywhere doing what you absolutely enjoy doing. All right. But we're just not in here just enjoying stuff. We actually gonna make some money too. Okay. At first when I started, I was like, I don't want to be talking about the money part. No, we talking about money too, because the money will help us to impact and reach more people. I'm just saying that, just putting it out there. Okay. So for you, I want you to think about who you want in your circle right now. Who inspires you? Who holds space for you to grow? Because the right tribe changes everything for you. Everything. Okay. So that's the second move. All right. So we talked about owning your authority. The second one is building your tribe strategically. Now, this third one is leading with impact, not your ego. Okay. Leading with impact, not with your ego. Okay. So transitioning into entrepreneurship for me was a steep learning curve. All right. I knew all the things in military, like most of the things. So I was like, okay. When somebody would bring up a particular topic, I was like, oh yeah, been there before. Okay. It may have changed a little bit as far as the verbiage, but I understood like what they were talking to. Okay. When I got into entrepreneurship, I was like, what what world is this? And I was thinking to myself, I'm never going to learn any of this lingo, this language, these concepts. Okay. So I had to put my ego to the side and was like, okay, Rochelle, you got to be open up to be learning. Okay. And be coachable. And, don't think that you know everything because it's clearly you don't. So we're leading also with a mindset where we're not caught up in comparing ourselves or chasing recognition or trying to be everything to everyone. Okay, that's what I was doing at the very beginning. And I fell into this trap and I was burning out myself because I was trying to prove something instead of creating real results for the people that I was called to serve. But I had to shift. I started to shift my focus from that to making an actual difference for my clients, for my community. And that's when this momentum exploded. That's when people started saying, Slay Nation, Slay Queen, Slay isn't just a brand, it's actually a movement. Okay. And that's what I want it to be. Yes, I created an LLC. Got that. All right. But it is a movement. All right. I am letting others know that what you did for a very long time can be converted into something that is much bigger, much greater, much more impactful, much more personable, much more um, incredible than your last. Okay, because you have a lot of wisdom. You've got a lot of scars. All right. Now I'm not into like healing or anything like that. There are other people in my community who do that. But once you have an idea and you're like, I want to be able to do X, Y, or Z, I'm the one to be like, okay, all right, let's talk through this. And we go through the pillars and the framework that I have created. I have a proprietary framework, and proprietary means that it is protected, it is trademarked. All right. It is the documented process of how I've got to transitioning from the military to where I am right now and creating opportunities for myself to really showcase what I have been doing in my past. But I'm not always in my past. All right. I'm like looking to the future. What is it that I am to do? All right. How do I reach more people? Because it is a movement. So, leading with impact is really about showing up consistently. Okay. So I have no problem with consistency. I found out more about this over the past couple of years. Consistency should probably be my middle name. A lot of people say that, they know where to find me. And I'm like, that's a good thing. And I'm proud that I was able to maintain even through the hard times of getting people to wrap themselves around this belief, this vision that I have. So being consistent, delivering value, all right, adding value, and being the leader you want others to emulate. So anytime that I get a message like, oh my gosh, now in my former day, people would call me chief. All right. Not a lot of people call me chief anymore. And I'm so loving that because I'm like, Rochelle is a great person. Okay. and there, I was given the name for a reason. I love hearing my name now, or Slay Queen, because the representation of the nation, if you will, and the company. But I had to realize that other people were watching me, and they are still watching me, and they leave me messages from time to time saying thank you. I really appreciate you. You're doing it. I want to slay just like you. When people come to you and say that, you are now the leader of whatever community that you're creating. So that's what we build here. All right. So those are the 3 game-changing moves. So we got them down, right? So we're going to own our authority. We're going to build our tribe strategically. And then we're going to lead with impact and not our ego. All right. So there are going to be struggles. Of course, there are going to be doubts. And there's going to be moments when you feel invisible or being overlooked, but you are capable. Okay. I have seen that for myself. You are prepared. All right. The S in slay means stay ready. Okay. You are prepared. And when you start owning your role as a leader, you unlock a new level of influence, opportunity, and purpose. So I want you to think today, what is one move that you can take this week to accelerate your journey? Wherever you're at. You could have been transitioning from your military or government service years ago, or you may be in it now, or it's about to come, right? There's one thing that you can take this week, all right? What move you can take this week to accelerate your journey? All right. So drop it in the comments, or later on when you're like, you know what? This really popped in my head and resonated. All right. Because when we rise together, y'all, we are slaying together. And that is the main goal. So I want you to stay bold. I want you to stay visible and keep leading. All right. And when no one gets it, but you are convicted in what you are doing, I want you to stay on track. I don't want you to get confused. I don't want you to get disappointed, and I don't want you to get frustrated. All right. And then this is the hub you land back into. So I show up on LinkedIn every day to give you a little bit more about what transition to transformation can look like for yourself. And I just want you to know that I appreciate you all. 2026 is going to be a slay-mazing year once again. So I want to thank Talithia, Chevy, and Valerie on the Facebook side for joining us in this conversation this morning. All right. And if you know people who need this message, go ahead and share it with them. Okay. And if you come back for the replay, go ahead and put in hashtag replay and let me know your thoughts. All right. I will be back on the internet waves on Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I have, again, another Slay Amazing guest that I am featuring. So watch out for that. And I'll also be back next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this show called Rise and Slay. So Talithia said, activate. Yes, ma'am. That's what you're going to do. That's activate. That is the one move that you're going to make this week to accelerate your journey. All right. No more waiting. No more asking for permission. No more doubting what you're doing. You're just going to move out. Okay, baby, because it is in alignment with your heart. All right. And you know exactly where you want to go. All right. So we're going to keep on building. We're going to keep on rising. And I lastly want to say, keep on slaying until you can't slay no more. And I will see you all very soon. Love y'all. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Queen. Bye-bye.